Hey gents, today we're going to be talking about Tom James Clothiers. I'm excited to talk about the new suit separates that I picked up from them. I didn't go with a full suit on this one, but I get a ton of questions about every made-to-measure brand and company out there, and Tom James isn't the original traveling tailor, but they're the company that really spread out this idea of having a brand that is national while having all these local reps in this space. And this space has exploded too. The ability for an entrepreneurial guy to go out and build a brand of his own, build a book of customers and make custom suits for them has, the bar has been lowered because of the technological innovations in Asian countries where you can get these suits made. So if you want to go out and start your own clothing brand, it's never been easier. But if you want to have the backing of a company, Tom James is always hiring. I remember I found like a job listing for them several years ago, and they bring in guys that have or want sales experience, and they can train them and get them out there selling. And then some of those guys split off and go make their own companies. But anyway, we'll talk about Tom James. They are a traveling tailor, so they're probably in your city. In Pittsburgh here, we do have a physical retail location, so there is somebody that has a franchise here, and then that gives you the ability to either give them a call, they'll come to your office, or they'll go, you can go into their shop and they have an on-site tailor for me here. And we'll talk about my experience of getting this, how the suit came out, their pricing and everything. And then if you have experience with Tom James, I also love to hear that down below in the comments, because I am an N of one, but the idea here is that I can give you my best information, but then also hear from others. So I'd love to hear from you down in the comments, and I also put a link to Tom James if you want to check him out, because I'm pretty satisfied with the experience. And let's talk about the whole process. Tom James' entire business is rep based. So you start off with the person who is local to you, and you will work directly with them. You don't order online, you go through the rep. Now, all of this is being done off of my memory. I thought I'd be able to find a PDF of all their prices and everything on the internet. If you know anybody that can send me that PDF, I'd love to have a little bit more transparency and clarity out there on the internet. But I worked with a guy who was right in Pittsburgh, and I ended up being downtown a lot, so I just stopped into their store. I know for a fact he was always out at offices, so the idea with Tom James is you give the guy a call, he shows up in your office, he shows you everything you want, he measures you, and then he brings it back to your office later on. The value in Tom James is taking all the guesswork and the thought out of it. You don't have to go to the store, everything's custom, everything fits. So I started with Grant. He measured me, and he asked a lot about what type of fit I was looking for, what kind of jacket. Basically, they want to get you into a lot of their clothes, and so their business model isn't sell you one suit or jacket and then keep moving on. They want your wardrobe to be part of that, which is why they offer suits, casual, sweaters, polos. They offer the whole range, and it's custom made, which is very nice. So he takes my full measurements, and I give him the direction that I want. My direction is I want something that Brian Sakawa from He Spoke Style would wear. I have a lot of suits that are really tight, skinny fits, slim lapels, trousers really tight. And I want something that is a little bit more of a classic look, especially in the trousers. I want higher rise, cuffs on the pants, a single pleat. And for the jacket, I want something that I don't have in my entire closet. And so we looked through the books, and I picked something which ended up being the seafoam green. Now, for their options, they have several different tiers and price points. Their price points, you could basically get into their suits for about $800, and that is their low-end line that starts out, and it's made in Ecuador, El Salvador. It's made in South America, from what I remember. I want to be a little bit more specific on there. And they have a few different names for it. This is from their executive collection, which I believe is the third tier. They have like a basic collection, an executive collection, and then you keep stepping up to the point where you get to Oxford cloth, which is a full-on bespoke garment, and that's when you're getting into the $5,000 price range. So you can go from the $800 for a suit, full suit range, and jackets under $600, and then you can step up into each of those next price tiers. And so if you want to just start out and you want something that fits really well, you can go that route. But then as you start to become a little bit, you make a little bit more money and you want something a little bit nicer, so you can accommodate each of those steps. And everything above that first step of suit is made in the USA. So the executive collection here is made in the USA, and they work with different manufacturers. From what I've read online, it's like Hickey Friedman, American English, and then they go up into the Holland and Sherry and Oxford cloths up in the very expensive price range, which I don't have. So this is from the executive collection. The trousers are from the executive collection, and the fit is all about what you want. Because they are rep based, your experience for them is going to be based on the rep that you have, and so the knowledge that they have about tailoring and style and the best thing to look for you, it's in their best interest to get you what you look good in and what you will feel good in. So the setup is win-win. They want to sell you most of your closet. You want to take the hassle out of looking good and feeling good, and they have the way to do that, which is to make all these custom clothes, whether it's suiting, shirting, and then off into like custom casual wear and everything else. The process takes about a month to 6 weeks. Mine took a little bit longer because I was traveling out of town. What was really nice is they are super accommodating. So I was going downtown and I was just stopping in their shop. For the final fitting, I did go into their shop and I tried everything on. Once they fit the jacket, I had a slight adjustment on the waist to pull it in a little bit, and then they had to send it back to punch the functioning buttonholes, which is done in Baltimore, and then they sent it back to the shop. And then instead of me going down to pick it up, they actually shipped it to me in a giant box. And the box is really reassuring because if you were to get anything shipped from them, it has this plastic hook on the top and it fits the entire garment in full. So I've been shipped garments before, whether it's from Suit Supply or any other made-to-measure company, where they're all folded up and rolled up. This one shipped in its full entirety, and so it came out looking absolutely perfect, which is very nice. I also ended up with 2 garment bags for the suits. I got one when I picked up the pants and tried on the jacket, then they sent the jacket out and sent it back. And I got 2, the hangers are one of the nicer hangers of the other suit companies. That's what you expect. It's like all of these little things add up into the entire experience. So we got the Tom James hanger right there. Has the little felt on there to help keep the pants on there. And so, but, you know, it's all these little things that help add to the experience, let alone the nice construction in the fabrics that are used on the suit itself. Oh, and you like these? These are from the Albert Thurston Oliver Wicks collection. Into that. And it's like the seafoam green, a little bit of green, look at that. So the way the suit came out, you see it here. I do have a little bit harder of a tailoring on the shoulders. I do have some padding in there, which I'm okay with. The key here is when you go for your second fitting, so they take your measurements, they send you like the fitting so you can make sure it fits well. That's where you can make a lot of the adjustments. And the other thing about Tom James is the tailoring, the adjustments, all that stuff is built in. So a lot of these other made-to-measure companies, some of them don't have any credit built into that for adjustments, and you take it to the tailor yourself. But Tom James is going to modify these and make sure you get the fit in there. And so the fit that I have right now is exactly what I was looking for, but it's very different from what I've been ordering in the past. I said I wanted a lot of room in the seat and in the trousers. Obviously with pleats, you get a very different look. And then for the jacket too, I wanted a fabric that I didn't have, but I also wanted something a bit more classically. So it has a slightly harder shoulder. It is longer than almost any of my other jackets as far as the body length, but the combination of the jacket and the trousers, being able to wear them up really high. I have side tabs and suspender buttons on those. I'm really satisfied with those. Like, this is a look that I'm really into, and the pants too. And because I bought them as separates, like, I've been wearing the trousers with other jackets, and I'm really into the trousers. The price on the jacket, all wool, made in the USA, $1,049, and the price on the pants, all wool, again, made in the USA, $400. When you talk about value, you have to compare to other made in the USA brands, and as you shop those, you'll see that it's like in line price with other made in the USA products when you're looking at an all wool, you know, trouser or a jacket. But the slight premium that you see on those is the convenience premium. So that like brings us through the entire process. Like I said, I'm happy with the jacket, I'm happy with the trousers. It was exactly what I was looking for. I'm also in an awkward transition period where a lot of the clothes that I bought for my channel 4 years ago are now, you know, I tried to buy as much timeless stuff as possible, but they don't fit me because I've added some muscle. Recently I bulked up, if you couldn't tell. And so now I am trying to get more into what I think of as like my adult style. So that was like my college, young, scrappy business guy sort of stuff. And now I'm trying to settle into more of like, what is my overall style? And I feel like I found that as I've gone through all these suit companies, and you're seeing that more on the channel play out, especially with that Bosley video. Those are some of my absolute favorite jackets that I've ever received. Those are some of my absolute favorite jackets in my entire collection. But let's talk about now Tom James overall and who it is for. It is for the guy that does truly hate the shop, that does want to look good, and has trouble with the shopping of buying off the rack clothes because, like for me, I really can't go to most stores and get something that fits my long arms, my short torso, my super long legs, and what used to be my 30-inch waist. Now I'm starting to be able to buy more off the rack pants, but even then, if I get a 34 inseam, it's actually slightly too short. I need a 35. And so they don't really make those odd sizes. But if you want to go to Tom James, you can get a chino from them that has those exact features, and you're gonna pay more than you would at a mall, but you also don't have to spend the time going to the mall, dealing with returns and everything in the process of buying things. And it's really the value prop of Tom James, any traveling tailor, or something like Stitch Fix and these other subscription programs. And it's the reason that I end up recommending these to so many guys, is because yes, you can go through, like if you want to go through the process of ordering stuff from Suit Supply and the back and forth, and there are guys that want to do that, but there's also a huge swath of guys that just want to say, give me 2 suits that I can wear for the entire year. I want a dozen dress shirts that are going to be about $120 each, which even for that, a made in the USA dress shirt at $150-ish. It's like, it's good. Plus, you don't have to do anything in order to get the fit right other than have a guy show up and bring it to you. So when I think about recommending brands and products to guys, I try to put myself in that position, because 5 years ago, there was no way in hell I was gonna spend $400 on a pair of trousers when I was making $30K and working at a desk job, but I had to dress nicely. It was worth it for me to go to the mall and to get the fit and get it pretty right and everything. But then as you step into these different phases, and it's like you start to truly value your time more than the effort that it takes to look good. And that's why there are so many guys that just walk into a bespoke suit maker, say, make me something, they pay $5 grand, they walk out with it, and they wear that suit for 5 and 10 years. And so Tom James is definitely for the guy that wants to not spend time shopping. They're okay with paying for the value of the time they didn't spend going there and what they are paying, and they are getting what they paid for in terms of the value of their time, but also in the quality of the products, because it is not easy to find many of these companies that make in the USA anymore. I have a whole website dedicated to it. I'll link to that below, American by Choice. So if you want to go to some of these heritage makers like Hickey Freeman, like you can actually get that stuff through Tom James. This is all stuff you find on the internet and my own experience. So if you've never tried Tom James and it sounds like you were the person that wants to worry less about the time that they're putting into this and just have someone show up and make them look good, then it's worth looking into. If you had a bad experience with Tom James in the past, they seem to turn over their reps pretty fast, so it might be worth just getting in touch with them again and going through that. If you work for Tom James and you are a rep and you want to send me that PDF, I'd love to have a little bit more actual facts around this sort of stuff. But it's also worth not hounding the people that you go after and chase on, because like that is some of the biggest feedback, is it's a culture of sales that is around building a book of business that you will then sell into and making sure that they're set. And it can be hard to drum that business up, but don't give the business a bad name by really pursuing leads that aren't that good. So my thoughts on Tom James: worth it for the right people. I think you understand who you are if you want to go through a process like this. I'm extremely happy with this stuff and I would absolutely be purchasing again. They do seem to recognize that people are wearing less suits now, and so they do offer made to measure or custom, sweaters and casual shirts and golf polos. And so I think if you guys are interested in looking at more of the casual side of those things, for me, like the ultimate luxury is if I was sitting in my office and a guy walked in and said, here's 2 pairs of chinos, here's 3 golf polos, they all fit perfectly, they're the exact color palette that you want and need in your thing. It's like, take my money for that. It's even after all the shopping they do online, and maybe that's why I'm so much more prone to it. It's like I just want somebody to show up with this stuff, and that's what's really nice, and that's what Tom James does. So I'll put Tom James below. Like I said, I would love to hear from you, either if you had an experience with them, good or bad, down in the comments. You can also reach out at _Kavalier on Twitter. Love to hear from you guys and all of those experiences, and I'm just trying to share the best information that I can out there. And until next time, gents, this is the Kavalier.